All right, guys. Let's get into it. So, Brand banned out against Razork. Oh, we're on 14.2 now. Whoa. Hence the Karma ban. I was about to be surprised, but I am not surprised any longer.
And it's more of a case of like, well, do we get to see BB bringing out like a Zac top? Is that
more relevant across?
Okay, Draven, no, Vransama. Maokai first. The thing that Cloud9 hates drafting for some reason. Senna here, Senna. Alright, Lucianami, Senna, Nautilus in spite of no more double support item. Akali, no Akali for Caps. He had that big Akali game, no Hui. Did play that in the last round. And no Darius for Oscarinen. Is this going to be, is that because this is an Udyr? Nope, it's a LeBlanc for Caps again. And a Zac in the top side of the map. So got plenty of engage. This is crazy engage. Crazy engage. Poppy for Razork. Or Poppy for Oscarinen. So he can actually block the Zac engage, can't block the Maokai engage. I assume, well, we'll see if this is AP or AD LeBlanc. It could actually be either because you do have AP in the top side. Caps has preferred that AD LeBlanc. I have not done JDG versus LNG. I will do it tomorrow, guys. I have to get through these LEC games by tonight. I'm sorry. I've got Summoning Insight. So I will do probably, I mean, I'm definitely only doing Chinese games tomorrow, guys. So. Can't have triple AP topside. You can. You can. I mean, it doesn't really matter in this case. You can flex it either way. This provides a huge, huge front line for Lucian to get up pretty close and deal a ton of damage, though, which is exciting. Humanoid has been once again good on the Azir.
And a reminder, what is on the line today? A spot in the top 4. Both these teams keen to get there. Getting into best of 5 with your extra life still intact in this double elimination bracket is huge. It's a massive boon as we go further into the winter split. It is a Doran's Blade start.
This FM Korea thread is toxic. Of course it is. It's FM Korea.
But since he also has attack speed, I'm pretty sure we're getting an Energizer LeBlanc. He has been the only person on our league.
What is the website I use? Reddit. LOL Event VODs. Reddit. LOL Event VODs.
It was adjusted on 14.1b to continue really to play it and find success with it, but it has looked very good, so I can't knock it.
Yeah, I mean, it has been pretty strong. Knight and Stuffer are still playing over in the LPL, so I still think it has opportunities to be brought out. I still think it has its hold, but the thing I'm going to focus on is because actually...
But you don't need LOL Event VODs because I'll just do it all for you. You know, all you need... You don't need LOL Event VODs. If you want to see all the good games, you just go to my Bangers Only channel. Why spend the effort when I will curate it for you? Why would you do that? Don't be silly. You're being silly.
Taking your support item a little bit later, but it doesn't hinder you too much. It does mean that you just get a ton of opportunity to play aggro.
Yep, double Dorans. Thoughts on Koenig Rooker item? Mega broken.
A little bit of damage now coming through, of course, with all that extra HP. Fnatic are favored on the all-in, but it can be a bit tricky to navigate. You highlighted it. You lose out on a lot of gold income for June, but you can buy that item a little bit later. The trade-off, early power, but how will they leverage it? The bigger question.
Yeah, but you're probably just going to buy it on the Senna here, because that's what we've been seeing on this patch. Can't wait for this VOD so I can speed up the sped gameplay. Fair enough. I skip a lot. How long till we get a Tarkovsky movie on 4Play? Probably not that long, honestly.
Just trading lots of autos here as well. Level 2 coming in for Caps a little bit later, but able to get the distortion for some extra damage. Hansama stepping up. Sidestep is nice on a potential route from Noah.
Little unfortunate there. Jun ended up hooking the minion, so I think it was hook the minion into the root, and then that would have been maybe a very dead Lucian, but not quite the case a little bit early on. So not too bad as a start here for G2 on the bot side. They're still going to be ramping up and hitting their spikes nice and early. If they're able to stay and kind of hinder the early game aggression that this double Dorans buys, but if we look towards the rest of the map, both junglers making their way down here. Looks like they are both going to go for full clears, so maybe a bit of a scrap.
Yeah, Doran's ring start onto the Lucian for mana regen.
Control over mid lane, and you look towards the control that Hans and Mickey have in the bot lane now, especially when they toss over to level 3. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to try and win out on this bot side.
Yeah, we'll get tricky to navigate. Lucian and Nami, kind of the champions that one item especially is where they really start to feel super oppressive if you're able to leverage your advantage. A lot of teams haven't been able to find that advantage early on. Now, the good news for G2, of course, is they're not in the situation that we saw yesterday for
Pretty much even CS right now. 19 to 11, but there's 7 in this wave.
To kind of be able to dictate the pace of this lane to a certain degree until Razork chooses to show his face.
Not going to get very many of them, though, actually.
Sitting pretty comfortable. And it is Doran's ring start for Lucian.
Okay, Razork here, level 4. Flash on the hook. Chance for a counter engage here. Flash in for W. Oh, nice knockback. Oh my god. Oh no, it's a train wreck. Well, is it? Razork doesn't have flash. That's how I can get over the wall. All right.
The dash. Messy exchange on the bottom side, but 2-1 in kills.
Bit of a miscommunication from G2. Hansama dashed forward onto Noah to try and kill him, whereas the rest of G2 were trying to turn on towards dash on to other members. So at the end of the day, it means that you're still able to bring it back here as G2, as Oscar and taking a little bit of a worse for wear. Ganking mid here for Razork as well, though.
Not going to amount to too much. Yike is, of course, covering in the area. Caps does have to be careful because of the burst damage of Xin, but while Razork doesn't have to be scared at this point, Caps can certainly just continue to be a nuisance.
Good read from Razork, though. It was like, why is Caps sticking around? There has to be a jungler here nearby, so ends up just backing away. Gonna start moving down towards his bot side again, just to get some vision control, and I imagine just to cover this push on bot lane, because you can kind of see where the wave is at the moment. Fnatic have control of that, so gonna just try and keep that freeze there. And at least having your jungler down there means that you don't have to worry about anyone else. But you can see here, so Mickey forced the flash, and I don't mind this at the get-go, like you forced Jun into the overextension. But look, Hans goes on to Noah.
It's actually a really good flash.
Other members of G2 are starting to move over towards Jun, who has no flash. So even with the barrier, the heal comes through on Jun, which means that Hans has to overextend. And Yike just barely keeps him alive, but it still ends up being valuable.
Sad that Maokai is made out of paper at the start of the game.
Jun as well. So it is a big trade for G2. Early Hans goes on to Noah, while the having your jungler down there means that you don't have to worry about anyone else. But you can see here, so Mickey forced the flash, and I don't mind this at the get-go, like you forced Jun into the overextension. But look, Hans goes on to Noah, while the other...
Yeah, I mean, he obviously shouldn't be going on to Noah here, because no one has to walk through the minion wave anyway. Probably be a very different story if he actually stepped up here faster. But it's okay. I mean, it's still a favorable trade. Mickey played that well.
For G2 in the end, like they get Noah, they also get Jun as well, which means that Jun into the overextension. But look, Hans goes on to Noah, while the other members of G2 are starting to move over towards Jun, who has no flash. Also, Noah flashing over the wall here. I mean, this is just how this guy plays, but that's no bueno. Barely keeps him alive, but it still ends up being valuable.
That's no bueno.
Like they get Noah, they also get Jun as well. So it is a big trade for G2, just a little messy on the get-go.
Yeah, and I think they're fortunate that Noah decided to flash in to kind of...
Yes. Noah misplayed that.
Turn the trade, but Hansama getting out of sight just in time. Could have been much dicier, but Senna, because she, I would say in that context, overcommits. Obviously, hindsight is always going to be 20/20, but not really able to get more since Noah ends up giving his life when he had already gotten out for free, essentially. But wanted to trade back, and it makes sense. Always good to kind of stymie the early...
What am I eating? I'm eating donkatsu, which is the Korean katsu don. It's a fried pork cutlet, but I made it more like a Dunbury bowl because I added a couple eggs to it.
Yeah, I think your Nautilus can actually do quite a bit with gold. He ends up in a pretty decent spot. So I'm not surprised to see the Senna kind of opt in towards the fasting Senna, but here we go.
Another route coming in. Razork on the way forward. When Becomes Lightning does connect, but Razork doesn't want to fully go in on the play. Caps continuing to trade with Humanoid. So hard for Humanoid to do anything of his own volition in this lane. Kind of has to wait for Caps to kick things off. Always tricky to get aggressive against LeBlanc.
Yeah, especially because a lot of the Azirs now aren't opting in towards, because you're not going Lost Chapter early. You're not going for like a Ludens or a Leandri's, what used to be it's always Nashor's Tooth first. So you end up with, if you spend a lot of mana on your Q to try and maneuver those soldiers around, you just boom incredibly quickly. So it makes things a little bit easier for Caps in this matchup. And he's just having a field day with it. And even then, it only starts to get worse as you start to get those energized stacks off, because you W in, get auto, you hop back out. It's really annoying.
I mean, you've got a champion who, in AD LeBlanc, who, yes, obviously wants to use her abilities for wave clear and to optimize her trades, but Azir is entirely reliant on them for damage as well, which the AD LeBlanc is not. So, always just going to feel easier to be on the LeBlanc side of these trades, at least until there's more items under the belt of the Azir. Yikes, starting up the grubs here. Razork in the area, red buff there. Stacking up the 3-point strike, but won't get anything else. And just a single.
I was still a T1 fan, of course.
Doing a good job of keeping track of
T1's great.
I mean, as you look towards that bot lane, Razork,
I'm not a T1 fan though. I don't like the fans of
Now,
T1.
as you move up towards Void Grubs, he's like, okay, cool, I'm here to make sure you're not doing anything funky. So one Void Grub does go across, but if you can even just deny one here, is Razork, you're in good shape. BB's starting to roam down though, which is going to force Razork away from the Void Grubs as well. So maybe Yike will start to feel a little bit more capable of going for something in that top side.
Joe Marsh undeleted his Twitter, by the way.
At the moment, G2 are playing very, very slow in trying to look off of wave states to get objectives, but the wave states aren't really in their favor, or they're not able to commit as much as they would like.
Ooh, Cap's marked there.
What do you mean, no?
Only the clone gonna get the mark when the wins becomes light.
We want Joe Marsh's Twitter. Joe Marsh's Twitter provides content.
Stopping the potential follow-up.
I approve.
Root now going in. Caps can just go right back. Yike there in the area to try and protect, but
Azure Catalyst, why do you hate content?
Doesn't quite have the knock-up. He's gonna be forced to use it on the creep. Caps will make it out alive. Doesn't have TP though, then that's big. No wave push though.
But laughing at his idiocy is great content.
Gonna be on the dragon here.
Yeah, Cap's just able to get just out of range of the ultimate from Razork, so he's trying to knock back Yike to then turn onto Caps and keep everything in check, but still control in the mid lane, going in favor of Fnatic, which means Dragon with the push on bot side will also go in favor of them. So even though it's been a lot of G2 trying to poke their heads in and see what they can do, they do have control over bot side with the kills, but at least objective control, Fnatic have been able to match a lot of what G2 want to do.
Thus far they have level 6 for Jun, but
That's
now a
not
bit
it,
of an
Jun.
all-in here. Mickey, I think, accidentally Eing himself in that trade.
So the level 6 hit, you don't, still level 5 on bot side.
This is
If this
so
wave
tough.
hits, they will hit 6 on bot lane.
Yeah, you can see G2 are stepping forward to try to make sure the wave is cleared. Flash engage onto Mickey, should just be one very dead fish. Nice flash out safety, but it will not stop the play from coming through. Hansama has the calling up and available and is trying to clear out Razork, but Noah is there to body block, continuing to step up, looking to get a little bit more damage down, forcing out the heal at the very least.
Yeah, I
Caps
see
is
the
here as
LeBlanc
well.
coming.
They need to get out alive if they want to make this play work. Caps continuing to jump in, double distortion, not a whole ton of damage there. And that's a
Still, you got
really
2 flashes. You got all sums out of bot side for that. It's actually not terrible.
Humanoid as well, getting some good damage on towards Yike. Got to play for himself off that as well, so you're going to force Yike kind of back out of position. So at the moment, Fnatic, yes, they have to burn all their summoner spells, so maybe there's an angle for Yike to punish at a later state, but at the moment, it's going to be them answering back for some of the deficit that's there, but you can still see 900 gold in favor of Hansama.
Well,
the kills and everything else is kind of helping us.
It's tricky because we kind of need to swap them, because the
That is
Sen is
fair,
obviously
that is
not farming, but Nautilus only has 96 gold over Mickey, and Mickey's got a mandate now, so individually, hard to make the comparison. Bot lane as a whole, very G2 favored, because while Hansama's struggling with bits and pieces, mandate is going to be a huge spike in their all-in damage.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, that's where kind of you can see the massive differences. And I think as we start to move on, it's going to be a case of trying to get G2 to play more heavy down towards that bot side. Caps now got to very quickly finish off that static shiv. He's going to have more control over mid. And then you can
Yeah, good roam early bot
control
side.
down towards the bottom side of the map and make sure you're in an okay spot alone.
Noah in the area, ulti
Good
not
dash
going to
back.
connect. Humanoid, I think, thought he had the timing, but Caps with just a sliver of a second left on the ability to reposition there.
I mean, I love seeing these two goes up against each other. These are like two of the, over the last couple of years, top performing mid laners in the league. So it's kind of cool to get every time you see them match up against each other.
Well, and the thing is
Travis is cooked as we speak right now. He and the Hotline League beeps are arguing against best of in the LCS.
You know, we didn't get to always see peak
Don't know what to tell you guys.
always get to see peak humanoid, but when they play against each other, I feel
Don't know
like
what to tell you. Why are we still having this debate? Like, one of the biggest factors in the LCS being bad is that they do not have enough stage experience, and they do not play in formats that the rest of the world plays in, so they're really ill-equipped in best ofs at international events.
Yeah, like you look at the,
It is a giant, and let me make this very clear, giant waste of professional player time to spend an entire day going to the studio and warming up and having to go through all the pregame stuff to get on stage for 40 minutes.
Terrifying when you do get
it is a
Again,
giant
just gives
waste
you
of
so much
time.
pushing.
It takes the pro players the same amount of time to do a best of 3 versus a best of 1 in reality, because adding an hour and a half when you already have to use your whole day to go play in the studio is irrelevant. It allows you to take better risks, allows you to be more aggressive, allows you to limit test better, makes you a better team.
No summoner spells on bot lane. That's the timer G2 are trying to work off of, but Razork is here to cover again.
TP now coming in, all 5 members of G2.
Oh, this is a nice setup, even though Mickey X does actually miss the tidal wave here.
Razork is here to cover again.
You know, what's interesting about this is that it's very hard to dodge both angles as they come in. It's a lot harder to block the Maokai ults as a result of this. And you don't expect the 5-player dive either, right? You know, let's look at what Broken Blade is doing. He actually just proxies and then waits for the TP timing. It's a really excellent dive. Humanoid doesn't have TP, so he can't TP under the turret. He actually doesn't have Emperor's Divide either because he missed it onto Caps earlier. So this is a beautifully orchestrated and set up play by G2. Very, 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 very good read. Oscarinen doesn't have TP. This is wonderfully done.
The terror aggro trading was so well executed by G2. Everyone just sitting there until they could just about get away with it. And BB, look, yes,
Thoughts on BDS as a team? Well, we're going to take a look at them today after this.
But he doesn't mind in the grand scheme of things. Getting Lucian ahead is much bigger on their agenda.
Is Perks good now? No.
Fnatic chance and G2 chance coming out. Fnatic looking to rally their boys on the back of that trade. It is a 2
What I don't understand is why the reason that all leagues don't play the same amount of games, because, guys, it's money. It costs more money to open and staff the LCS studio more days a week. They do not have viewers. They do not have big sponsorships.
Wasn't able to really get into it. Now watch Mickey. He tanks 2 shots. Then you get Yike who takes up aggro instead.
Yeah.
He just plays on the edge of it.
Beautiful tower. I mean, this was a really nice dive, guys.
Everyone kind of knew how much damage they could
It's really well executed. The timing is very good. Excellent macro play around TP and proxy farming. Very, very good. Tier 1 sub, I will dominate. Thank you, Anonymous Gifter. Roman popping off is the best part of the coach cams in G2.
All right. So far, 3 grubs for the side of G2. Kind of surprised when you saw the first one went down, but they were able to grab all 3. Fnatic.
Papa Smithy said it costs LCS 100K to turn on the broadcast. Yeah, you know, they didn't have to put it in Los Angeles. They made that choice. They made that choice.
Just be a general nuisance.
I think, though, this is where you start to have issues here for Fnatic, because with how far ahead this Lucian is, he's going to become a major issue on side lanes, which is why they're starting to rotate him around in, hey, we can start to play towards the Ike with him. Well, get Void Grub's moment, but immediately then start to push mid with the LeBlanc, lean that pressure in towards top side, take top tower. Rotate them back to bot as Dragons about to spawn. Fantastic, we can work off.
Just move it to Little Rock.
This is where you're just going to keep playing back and forth.
Dude, I would love to see all of the people who work LCS be forced to live in Little Rock. That would be the funniest shit of all time. Captain Flowers and Kobe just chilling in Little Rock, Arkansas.
It was only a 3-level difference, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's level 8. Like, yes, Jun has been farming, but don't. One of you has a Sunfire Cave and is level 11. Razork might make the same mistake.
Drinking moonshine in the swamp.
Oh my gosh, just the Boo Saga unfolding live on our stage. How many people are they going to throw into Broken Blade? G2.
Hey, we can start. Though this is where you start to have issues here for Fnatic, because with how far ahead this Lucian is, he's going to become a major issue on side lanes, which is why they're starting to rotate him around in, hey, we can start to play towards the Ike with him. Well, get Void Grub's moment, but immediately then start to push mid with the LeBlanc, lean that pressure in towards top side, take top tower. Rotate them back to bot as Dragons about to spawn. Fantastic, we can work off of that as well. So this is where you're just going to keep playing back and forth around the map based on what objectives are coming up. So with Dragon being more valuable, hang on.
going for the all-in. Noah on the way down.
So tonight,
Dies in the process.
just free.
Noah doesn't have reliable CC to stop the E outs. Broken Blade gonna flash to safety. Was respecting the delay on last embrace to come through. Bit of a question mark. Jun and Noah so good yesterday, but just a little bit off today, it feels like.
Okay.
3-level difference, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's level 8. Like, yes, Jun has been farming, but don't. One of you has a Sunfire Cave and is level 11.
Broken Blade just healing up massively.
Oh, no.
Razork sprinting it. What the fuck are they doing?
How many people are going to throw into Broken Blade? G2 rinsing, repeat on the bot side dive.
What are they doing, guys?
BB base. I mean, look how pink and luxurious he is. How could you try and turn that down?
Like
He's just sitting there, you know? Exactly.
So
Please talk about Yamato. Of course we will.
Almost solo kills enemy jungle in sport. Oscar, nice plays here. Does pick the wrong caps, though. So won't have the kill. Caps just standing back to clear the wave out here. So decent lane assignments coming in from G2. Oscar has just not been able to get involved thus far, and it's crushing because in the team fight, in terms of what Poppy can bring, you know it's a lot, but just hasn't had the opportunity.
No, you don't want it in California because it's too expensive. Like, it's just the cost of living is too much, and like the taxes and all the bullshit. You don't want it there. You want it. You want LCS in like fucking Texas, man. That's where you want it. Incredibly cheap, no taxes.
And I think Fnatic are no strangers to this position. Noah's had good games, and he's had kind of mediocre games. And Humanoid has been really the rock in terms of carry potential for this team.
Atlanta would make sense because they have, I assume they're filming tax breaks that, you know, that's why all the Marvel movies are made there. Those might apply to, you know, live production as well. I'm not sure about that, but it would make sense if they did. Yeah, Vegas would be another good place.
Big chunk, big trade. Razork now coming in to cover. When becomes lightning, will not connect. Wave going in. This could be bad. Razork might find himself in trouble very quickly. Hansama does a lot of damage. Humanoid jumping into the mid lane. Razork left all on his lonesome to try to 1v1 Hansama.
Razork?
Not a 1v1. It's a 4.
Razork?
Might find himself in trouble very quickly.
Flashes.
Does a lot of damage.
Dodges bubble. Dash over wall. Hits W. Ease over. Ints.
It's a 4v1. And G2 win those.
And G2 are just much more willing to teleport in Broken Blade for these fights. Again, they're playing it that bot side. You're overextending, and Humanoid now going to feel the brunt of this.
Calling coming in. Ooh, Zach not quite able to get the additional auto attack after the Q. Force Humanoid back. Oscar gets the TP. It's going to take a lot of time to kill Oscar. Fnatic maybe hoping for a counterplay here. Oscar will back away. G2 just going to be happy with the Herald. And really total control for G2. Yes, they've traded on Drakes. Yes, it's only 3 grub buff, but grabbing the Herald now as well will only further extend their gold lead. Right now it's teetering around 4K. It'll be over 4K once they're able to crash that in.
And this is supposed to be the part of G2 where you're less scared of them. Like, the early game has not been their strong suit when you look over the course of winter. They've had a very, well, I was going to say few, but they've had a lot of fumbles in the early stages. You even got to see it yesterday in Game 1 versus Fnatic. This time, though, this has been significantly cleaner. Like, TPs from BB to look for dives. They've had a clear-cut game plan of let's get Hansama ahead. It's worked out fantastically. And now the fact that you're getting all this vision that in a moment will be restocked in towards River just allows Hansama to play very aggressive on mid-wave once again. And if you do try and go for something, it just feels like G2 are always set up to play around this Lucian significantly better than Fnatic are.
Yep, another sidestepped hook. And immediately you can see Fnatic just have to back away. Hansama has more than enough damage to kill both Noah and Jun if left alone.
He does have to be careful, though, because like you actually need to get your vision in River established before you try and go for these plays, because you can see there, right? Razork is waiting in the wings. If you overextend there and suddenly Jun ultimate in on top of you, that's your flash, your barrier, and then you've got Razork who can still get the CC to follow up. So you do need to take it slow and wait till you actually have push on side lanes before you go. So Hans, look at side lanes. There's no pressure on side lanes. You cannot play that far up because this is what Fnatic are waiting for you, that make that one fumble.
Credit to G2 though, they're just hard winning through bot.
That's part of the reason why we've seen Lucian.
Spirit Visage now completed for Broken Blade, so he's going to be even more of a menace when it comes to healing. They're so tanky, guys. And this Senna is just so far behind at this point. Yeah, how are they going to do any damage? It's all on Humanoid.
But this is just a classic wet noodle fight. Difference, of course, being Zach has much better sustain than Poppy, so there's just really no kill pressure.
Yeah, and again, this is more of a case of BB getting control by Babe to push the wave super easily and having a ton of escapes if he ever gets jumped on that top side. But for G2, it's like this is kind of what you needed, right? Shove in bot with caps, make sure you can get that vision control that we just talked about. Dragon is going to be up in just under a minute's time, so you've got aggressive on the mid wave.
Hansama, big chunk of damage. Was first strike coming available? It was plus 62.
Side of the map and
You know, this is just super good protection for Hansama, by the way. Like, when you want to dash forward as Lucian and like use the culling, you actually just have to have map knowledge. And they've been going through the enemy jungle right here. Caps is over here. Maokai's waiting. So it allows you to play Lucian more aggressively and get those big chunks that are, you know, really necessary.
Making it easy. That said, Caps just kind of lurking near.
Wait, does nobody? I know LCS's Dragon Timer was broken. Does no? I guess nobody has Dragon Timer this week. How fucking weird.
Making money, making it easy. That said, Caps just kind of lurking near the side lane. Has Voltaic Cyclosword, so second Energizer item completed. And this is where Humanoid's life gets annoying. In a team fight, he can do so much work. In a side lane, he's playing against one of the least interactive champions in the game.
Hey, look at these. Look at these trades. Hansama just doing a great job playing this Lucian, but this is really a team effort of providing safety for the Lucian with a lot of vision control and pressure, because it allows you to get the upfront chunks done, which is there. That's just so important, guys.
He walks away, and if you're not ready to force a fight right then and there, it's just free poke.
BB and Oscar and walking hand in hand through the jungle now.
Knock back.
Straight to the wave. Oh, that was nice of him. Make sure he got the CS, you know?
Yeah,
Top
actually,
laners gotta look out for each other right here.
I know there are pings in the mid lane. Let's not go there. Let's just watch these two fight each other.
Nearly got him there.
Nearly got it. Okay, never mind. All right, we're not going to watch that anymore. Jun. Okay, Bubble there. Mickey just going to walk away. And Caps. Ready to complete the highly interactive play pattern of Energizer LeBlanc. Leap in. Get a slightly negative trade. Leap out.
It'll come back though. Fleet footwork, you know.
Yeah, he'll get the HP back with fleet footwork.
Less valuable, but still, it'll be alright. I think though you will see G2 go for the resets here.
They fired the Dragon Timer guy. I mean, something's broken on this patch, right? It's really screwed up. It's very annoying.
And for Fnatic side, that's perfect because you get Noah, who's going to get to scale towards infinity. Human are going to get these items as well. And the biggest problem is that Hansama isn't able to really follow up on a lot of the plays he's making in mid because you just don't have the vision. Now, he has got some poke damage on mid, and with the Rift Tower coming, the collapse is already coming through for G2 on this mid lane turret.
Thumbs up. He's like, I got it going in the right direction. We didn't fuck this up, guys. Dude, Razork is just getting fucked up this game. You know, the Zac Maokai just allows this Lucian to play so far forward and just maximize Lucian damage. This comp is very, very good. And they played it beautifully. I mean, this is a great game from G2, honestly. Gave him the old macro blast in the bot lane. Lost almost nothing for those repeated dives. Noah and Jun running it down. Razork running it down.
Starting to play back. Flank coming in from Caps. Humanoid distracted for a brief moment. Broken Blade able to proc the Q. 3K getting lower. Lucian knocked out of the pit. It's time for to leverage some of the power of this Poppy. If given the opportunity, his ulti is up and available. G2 starting to play back. Flank coming in from Caps. Humanoid distracted for a brief moment. Broken Blade able to proc.
Yeah, he just doesn't care. Just ults and sidesteps.
Just getting danced on by Caps, and here comes Hansama with the damage to finish the job. Mickey now flashing out of safety. Objective getting lower and lower.
There it is.
Just soloing it. It's absolute chaos in the pit. It's a fight on so many fronts, and Fnatic are just getting danced
1 billion damage from Lucian. This is actually one of the best Western Lucian games we've seen, guys. They're playing it properly. They've got a good comp for it. They're playing it properly. They're snowballing through bot lane. Woo! G2, Western Saviors. Yikes! Save W for Poppy. Did he W? I thought I saw that too. Did he just W? What did he W? Because he's untargetable, right? Which is smart. Oh, he W's Baron. He W's onto Baron. That's smart. It's very smart.
Lucian knocked out of the pit. It's time for Fnatic to fight if they can find the angle. But Humanoid just spend everything and get absolutely nothing in return.
Oh, God.
Versus several members of G2 off the side. Caps does a great job of separating them.
Yeah, he plays this really well.
You've got Jun and Noah that are in this pit. No one's able to
It's good shot calling. I mean, they know the one thing that could fuck this up.
And then with the repositioning that ends up happening of Hansama, Humanoid's just on his own against the two carries. And again, Noah, yes, you're in a fine spot to just sit there in the back of the pit, but you're not really hitting onto the core members. And there's no real damage that's left because Humanoid, he's just trying to put everything into Caps, who's dancing around him.
Yeah, I mean, Humanoid burn all his cooldowns, just trying to go even with Caps. But
It's a 100 Thieves t-shirt at the store for $6, but they sell out every drop, guys. They're a real apparel company who sells millions of shirts, right? Right? It's not just a 200 shirt drop that they sell out of instantly and then have a parade on social media. Definitely not that, guys.
Them as chains, and they're just gonna strap it to Humanoid because they know Noah's a broke boy, and there's nothing he can do about it. He can't farm. He just needs souls and time.
He is a blood song and a dream.
Like when the soul count hits like 140, we can start talking about Senna as a character.
100 Thieves is the next Supreme. What are you talking about?
Hansama didn't have first strike up, it looks like, so won't be able to make money off of full ulting Oscar in it.
100 Thieves is the new Supreme.
This is so
Get it while it's hot.
I mean, just look at the discrepancy between the 80 carries is exacerbated by the fact that Noah is, of course, not farming, not CSing. But
Didn't 100 Thieves win LCS once and nobody cared? Well, Nade Shot cared. It was actually the one time he's ever cared about League of Legends. You know, he spends most of his time ignoring League of Legends, but he cared one time.
He has complete faith in his ability not to die again.
I mean, it's 5.5K, but don't worry, Nautilus losing by 200 gold is making up for it.
It's all right, guys. They sold their energy drink, so they're saved. They definitely didn't waste a bunch of money trying to be a game developer and then have to sell off their assets afterwards. That definitely didn't happen.
You're just never able to try and play for it.
And a lot just goes back to that first tower dive. You have a much closer game until G2 are able to pull off that first tower dive on the bottom side. Part of that is Broken Blade has a TP advantage.
When did that happen? They announced they were developing their own game
Oscar at that point in the game,
a couple years ago.
Yeah, G2 clearly a team that
Have you seen that game? Of course you haven't.
And I think definitely amplified.
But Nade Shot says it's really good, so he's tried it.
Has not been able to participate in the game. Caps is just constantly threatening specifically him and mostly him alone.
But that's the thing is, like, if you try to put Oscar in against Caps, Caps just takes turrets. Like, he just pushes too effectively. He's able to whittle Oscar and tell far down, and you just never really get to play against them. And even if you end up underneath the tower, I mean, Caps is just going to take the turret. So Humanoid by default has to go against Caps, and you can even see then it's still just working.
Have I heard much about Reynad's game in the Bazaar? I really like Reynad as a person. I'm interested in what he's doing. I know he spent like so much money on it.
And now we're getting to see Caps kind of entering that zone as well.
I have much more confidence in Reynad actually releasing a game someday because he's a fucking grinder than I do 100 Thieves becoming a AAA game developer.
You don't do a lot of damage on this version of AD LeBlanc. It's decent, but your team needs to play around kind of the disruption that you're going to bring to the table. Because it's not, you know, Tri-Force static when that build was super.
It's been such a clean game from G2.
It's still good. It's good damage.
Such a clean game. You love to see it. So dominant.
It's just a case of you can't be ignored, right? When it comes into team fights, like we saw it at that Baron fight, where Humanoid just couldn't ignore Caps as he was poking him down, and that's where it gets very, very annoying, because it's how do I then split my damage? The whole front to back concept goes out the window. Yep. But Caps, they're going to see if you can find this.
Flank coming in for Caps, can just go right back, has caught the Nautilus ultimate, it looks like, for Tree now coming in, Oscar in the midst of the entire team.
Caps dodges a 0 ult again.
For Fnatic. Continuing to step forward, Coling going down, but Yike and BB are right back into the middle of the fight. The knockback into the
BB?
tower is big, though.
I still got ult.
Let's bounce out to safety. Nice bubble coming in, hitting Jun off to the side. Eyes on Hansama. He is the damage for G2, but he can't get to the line quite fast enough. Caps continuing to poke, continuing to be a nuisance. Humanoid standing
a nuisance. He's gone French. Dracos has gone French.
G2 overplaying their hand.
He is a nuisance.
Losing so many summoner spells in this exchange, just trying to push a little bit deeper on the top side of the map.
G2 just saying sorry, didn't want to be here, didn't want to interrupt, sir. We're backing on up. Fnatic doing a really good job there playing under turret, especially
Zach looking really weak. French, I'm French. Connected. One of the GOAT League of Legends interviews. If you guys haven't seen that. So funny. With Rachel Kuriko.
But yeah, he would have been able to possibly get out, but if he went down, it would have been G2 having to commit to get him out, and with the way Fnatic were playing that fight, I think it might have gone Fnatic's favor.
Oscar.
You hear tomorrow big?
Careful here until someone else
Yes.
Back him up. Movement speed steroid from Mickey, gonna make sure
Go
that's
Carmack.
safely.
Trolling pro players in LoL who didn't know who he was because they were not OG esports people, so he could get away with pretending to be a foreign reporter.
So I would overall say that's a very positive trade for Fnatic. Still hard to convert that into anything else, but if they find a fight in the next few minutes, maybe they can get something done. Wave going in, not going to connect onto anybody, however. Just giving G2 a bit more space in the mid lane. Baron around the corner, 9 seconds till that responds. And of course, it is also sole point for G2. Something that has to be respected. Fnatic.
All right, here we go again, guys.
Here. We'll have to find a way through caps to get to this objective.
Trying to just go through all the vision that I've set up. That's TP coming.
No, I was just setting a bait. They want to fight. Where is Zaku?
Eyes on Broken Blade off to the side. Oscar coming
Here he
in,
comes.
be able to interrupt the dash coming in from Broken Blade, but Broken Blade now on the back line without a whole
Oh
lot of
my
support.
God.
Just disrupting here. The damage
Zach Gaming, guys.
pretty decent actually, but the rest of the team is covering. Calling across the wall, finding the first kill. Broken Blade still standing. Broken Blade still has the passive. Without a whole lot of support.
Yeah, he gets Poppy ulted.
The damage coming from the Zach is pretty decent actually, but the rest of the team now covering. Calling from across the wall, finding the first kill. Broken Blade still standing. Broken Blade still has the passive. You already talked about it.
Oh my God, the healing is so gross. They can't even kill his blobs. Not much to say about this one, guys. This one was won and in the bot lane super early on, and then G2 just executed a really good snowball.
They might just have to settle for an inhibitor tower, but it's a clean fight from G2.
They're trying desperately to keep this one going. They see it, but I think they're just going to back away, be happy with the turrets. They know it's playoffs. They know this is serious business, and a quadra kill 10-0.
Yeah, close game, guys.
For Hansama on this Lucian, G2 are smurfing on this pick.
And this is exactly what everyone thinks to themselves in their head when they lock this pick in. This is what people are seeing in scrims, and we're finally seeing it on stage. Potentially the second Lucian win in the LEC. Feeling pretty much like this one is done and dusted. For G, all similar for Hansama.
Up the desperation stop here. They ult out Maokai, but not until Maokai is ulted, so it doesn't matter. Because the game is over if they lose this fight, even if they get Drake. And there we go. Game is over. All right. Well, we didn't learn much about G2 there.